connected still. Yo, what's up, everyone? We are here with the champ, Weegee.
Hey guys.
Say hello, everyone.
How you doing?
So, I thought I'd get Weegee here on stream to help me with the 70-star visual journey a bit and like ask some questions about general like practice, I don't know, mentality, all these things. I prepared like a handful of questions here, so it will be kind of like a job interview, very serious, of course. So yeah, I just wanted to first start with like you actually, and like quickly just ask like, what was your first introduction to SM64 and what inspired you to like stick with it and stuff? Can you give us some insights there?
I think I started watching the game from Siglenic's GDQ run. I probably watched him do 16 stars, so I only really did 16 star at first, but then I found Zaya, and then I just completely fell in love with the movement. And pretty much since then, I've just not really been able to stop playing.
Okay, yeah. I think that's like many people got very inspired like in the whole Siglemic era and then just kept grinding, which is pretty cool. It's like such a huge milestone. Okay, very quick, 2 more questions to like throw in the beginning. What's your favorite stage and why?
I feel like I have to say Womps with how much I see it and how like much I've optimized it, but I kind of think TTC is a better stage, like speedrunning wise.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, both very fast paced, I guess, in most of the categories, even in like 70.
Yeah. I think TTC is a stage you're going to probably be practicing a ton in 70. I think that's where a lot of the time saved will be lost or gained.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah. We already started with like Womps today, and even there, like the 100 coin star is like so different than all the others because like it's so much longer and more complex in a sense. So I assume TTC 100 is like pretty similar.
Yeah.
All right, and then one more question to you. What's like one strat or stage that like really took you a long time to learn and master? Like one that like really roadblocked you? Do you have any idea about something like that?
If I don't think of one, I'm gonna sound really cocky. I gotta think. The thing is, a lot of my learning came from like years ago because I kind of got to a certain level a few years back and then just kind of cruised since there. So it's hard to think of a strat that I guess Lava Boost was a big one that I would die on and lose runs to because there's like multiple different methods of it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can easily like get double burned and die or like invisible. Probably Lava Boost, yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's a candidate for sure. I would think of that. It's like one of the, when you start 70, or like I guess there's also non-lava boost strats, but there's always these like big ones like Pillarless, Lava Boost, I don't know, Owless if you have never done it before. These are like the run killers, I guess.
Yeah.
So I can see that super happening. All right. That was a quick little intro, and then I have some questions generally about like practice and stuff. Not necessarily directly to like my visual grind as well, but like also general to like beginners in case anyone watches this later on and like is interested how to start themselves or something.
Yeah, sure.
So what category would you actually recommend people to start SM64 with? Is it 16 star or directly go to like 70 with like movement and stuff?
I think it's a matter of how confident the person is that they want to get into the game at first. Like if you see the game and you fall in love with it and you know you're going to want to put a ton of hours, then you might as well start with 70 because you'll get a pretty wide range of things to learn. But 16 is kind of the category you go to if like you're not really sure you want to start playing yet, just trying to test the waters. But I would say 70, generally speaking.
Honestly. In 70, I guess like you learn much more than in just 16 star, right? Like about the whole game.
Especially because in 16 you don't do 100 coins, and 100 coins are a very like big thing you learn going on to 70 or 120 because you have to kill enemies and then like react to RNG, stuff like that, learning about cycles.
Get a bit more of the physics down and stuff.
Yeah, and swimming as well.
Oh yeah. I guess in 16 you only do DDD, really.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Then what does like a usual practice session for you look like? Do you mostly focus on like single stars, segments, no reset runs sometimes? Because I know there's like lots of different practice methods out there in SM64 especially even.
Yeah.
So what is something you would recommend, or like what you prefer to do?
I do think it's worth noting there can be a difference between like warm up and practice. I don't really know how other people look at it, but if I'm just getting on and I feel confident, I'll just warm up with some of my favorite stars. And I won't take it too seriously, just get a few good times and start. But for actual practice, what I usually do is think of a star that I struggled with in the runs that I did last, or just a star that I've been thinking about, and I'll just run through it with save states and try to get as good of a time as you can get, and just really make sure you understand every part of the star, and then just put it together and work on the consistency. But I know Weegee, I don't really do like segment RTA that much or any of those long-term consistency methods, but I think they're like really good. Like Weegee will do segment RTA. Usually he'll start with stage RTA and then move on to like segment RTA after he's gotten each star down. So I think that's really the best way to do it. You start small, break the stars down, go from star, stage RTA, segment RTA, then you're kind of good to go from there.
Interesting. Yeah, then in it's very similar in blindfolded actually. I believe like in both of these, like mostly we practice stuff that like failed last run, just like rewatch the stuff and then like try to really analyze what went wrong, redo it a couple of times, and also as you said, like first stars, then stages, then segments. Though I have to say, at least for me, and I think probably for many people, like if you do this approach, like it's very hard to stay like motivated to do upstairs RTA because you think like I could already do this in a run, kind of. That was my problem always.
I've heard lots of people say like they don't want to do like segment RTA or stage RTA and then like waste a really good run of it and then feel like they could have just done that in a run and they wasted their time. But ultimately with speedrunning, what you find out is that you'll always improve and you'll always get a better run of whatever you're doing. And so it's what you got to do to practice. So I think it's the best approach.
I agree totally. So actually what I was talking about just a second ago, do you actually rewatch your runs or like your mistakes and like, as you said, kind of analyze them in retrospect? Is that something you do in a visual speedrun setting as well?
I think not really. Usually I just remember what went wrong. I definitely could be more responsible there in terms of like being disciplined and taking notes. If you're still like learning, it's probably good to rewatch. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. But you could even just like take notes on the mistakes you made after you finish a run and then run through it in practice. I think Callie does that.
Yeah, that sounds actually really, really good. That's something I haven't thought about because in visual, you can kind of even like, I guess not in between stars because there's not that much downtime and you don't want to like start on the notepad and stuff, but it's actually a good point that to like write down mistakes because that's something we cannot do, unfortunately, in blindfolded. That's why I ask specifically this question. We like rewatching your run is like such a vital part of practice. So you basically have to rewatch or like scroll at least through like every single run you do. Interesting.
I was thinking with, I guess for you especially, your chat's probably a really big help in terms of like after you take the blindfold off, kind of being reminded of what went wrong and stuff.
Yes.
And even for learning visually, chat can be super helpful.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening already now. Even while learning the first couple of stars, chat has been helping out a lot. So
yeah, it's great.
It's really cool that the SM64 community is like big enough that like every second person in chat has like knowledge about the game actually and like knows what they are talking about, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'll see names that I don't really recognize, like trying to give comments on strats, and sometimes there's misinformation, but you know, it's great. Everybody's trying to help, and usually it does help. It's really cool. Everybody's tried learning at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The next question: what do you think of like the like balance of consistency and speed? Because at some point when you improve your strats and stuff, they get riskier and riskier, like usually at least. What is like your preference, or like what would you recommend people to go for? Like full on focus on consistency, or like try to implement faster but riskier strats like slowly, or like jump right into them so that they later don't need to like struggle so much with them maybe? Do you have any advice on that?
I think some of it can kind of be a personal thing, like judging your own play style. Like personally, I really like just doing the fastest things I can do, even if they're probably going to result in a reset. But I think if you're really trying to just get as good as possible, as fast as possible, get the best RTA times, it's smart to kind of run through every strat and just do the strats that you know you won't mess up in a run and get really good at doing those strats fast. That way you still kind of improve your movement, but you don't have to like lose runs to just messing up some really hard strat that saves like 1 second. There's a lot of strats that save like hardly any time and are way harder.
Yeah. I wrote on an example for like specifically, for example, in Buzz in the Sky, like left side, standing left side, right side, maybe even going for the pole. Like they are all like, I guess, relatively close in the time save. Each of course saving more, but like I was curious, what is like the point when you would actually switch to, for example, right side from left side or something? But I guess it's like really a personal thing, like how you feel, how confident you are in your run as well.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's not so much a thing that you can really just like point out the exact moment. You kind of just have to like feel it and then just commit to it and expect to mess it up.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say before that, but yeah, I think you kind of just have to feel out when you're ready to switch a certain strat.
Yeah, all right. Then a bit about motivation. How do you stay motivated if you have like bad runs or like you are like on a plateau or something with the strats when you practice and you just cannot improve or something? Do you have any like advice for that? Because I think many runners, especially new people in speedrunning, like they have like all this motivation when they start, and then they start hitting like the first barrier when it gets like much more difficult to improve. And I think many people struggle with that, especially like how to get through that.
Yeah, unfortunately, like motivation can be really fickle, and like there's not so much you can actually do about the feelings themselves. So I think the best approach is to really manage how many hours you play each day. You know, like some days you're going to be like in love with the game and want to play it 12 hours, but it's smart to kind of like find the balance and limit yourself and take breaks. But I don't know, I struggle with motivation a lot too. I'll stop for weeks at a time and come back. But usually I come back into it when I like watch other runners. That's always a really big motivation for me.
Have you noticed that like after a break or something like this, you actually play like better or worse? Or like do you feel like you got rusty over time?
Yeah, a lot of the time I'll take a break and come back and like things are just easier. You got stuck in early game before and now all of a sudden you're just like cruising past it. Like early game especially, and especially in 70 at a top level at least, you can just get stuck in for like hours on end. And so a break really helps, just like reset your mind in that scenario.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. It's actually something I also very often like thinking about. Like whenever I take some break from like blindfolded, it's also like somehow when you come back, it's always easier. Like you feel, you play like even better than before for whatever reason. It's pretty funny how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
Then what is your advice for runners who want to go from like decent to like really good or like professional level, you know? Like, is there anything that you would like, not now for beginners, but like for people who already are established in SM64, I don't know, they have a decently good time in 70 star, like what should they focus on the most? Is it really just improving strats, practicing more, trying to figure out something else maybe? Like it's a bit of an open question, but
yeah, I think about this a lot because a lot of people I talk to have a similar problem. They'll kind of get to like, 49 level in 70 or 48, and they're trying to figure out how to get to like, 46 or whatever. I think for that, you really just have to start thinking outside the box. At that point, Wikipedia is not really going to help you. You're probably going to be faster on like everything it's showing you. So you'll really have to like compare to people who you know are faster than you and like really learn to be perceptive, because a lot of the time saves that you'll find are just in the smallest little movement sections and they're not obvious. And so I think in that regard, I don't think strats are really that important at that level. There's people like Karen who I know, I don't know about now, but he used to do like really basic strats and yet he got world record in 120. So I don't think strats are that important at that point. I think it's about really being perceptive and grinding out like individual star practice. And
okay.
Gosudrian has a misc timer function where you can like see, I don't know if you've seen it, but it like it'll show you the time you've gotten. Yeah, like when
like
you wall
red
kick or whatever.
Wall kicks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really useful for improving. So you can see like how you lose time over a star.
And I guess especially on such a high level, even like single frames on like the misc timer is like pretty huge. Like if you get to 1 coin somehow, I don't know, a couple of frames faster, that's already something, right?
Yeah, I spent like hours yesterday grinding down a really hard strat for Snowman's head, the Pingu flip strat, where you side flip once you get on top of his head. And I was spending like probably like an hour trying to figure out how to just get the first triple jump to be a 423 instead of a 426 on the misc timer. And it's like crazy how in depth it'll get. And once you start like messing with that kind of stuff, your movement gets like so much better, and you just like discover a whole new level of the game.
And it's also like practice at the same time, right? Like because you keep repeating it, so it's like a double. That's pretty interesting.
A lot of people kind of, I think that like speed practice isn't consistency practice, but it kind of can be if you're putting a ton of hours into it. It kind of does both, so I think it's important.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, then let me quickly check what I else have here. What is one common mistake that new runners usually make when practicing SM64, and like how can they avoid it? Do you have any like thing that you see over and over again with like new people, or is it like more all over the place?
I don't really watch a lot of people practice that much, but I guess just really using your resources. A lot of people will kind of want to homebrew their own movement, which is fine if you're trying to like just have fun and do your own thing. But there's so many like amazing resources to use, and you should really just use them and not be afraid to ask for help, because the thing with this game is like as much as it's fun to be subjective and like have your own takes and opinions on things, there's kind of an objective sense to like how to go fast.
Yeah.
So the resources are all out there for like how to do stars perfectly, and
especially in SM64. Especially in SM64, like the community is that like advanced and that big that like there are so many good resources compared to like other speed communities I've been in. Like it's really, really amazing what is going on here in SM64.
Yeah, we're really, really spoiled for sure.
So that's actually a really good point to like try to use everything you have, and also to listen to others when, for example, they help or something, or like not even listen to, but like get help, as you said. I think that's also a very good idea.
Speaking of which, somebody in your chat just said new runners reset too much. That's definitely a big one I didn't think about for RTA. Definitely just finish runs. You get a lot more consistency that way.
Yeah. Which actually makes me think, like, what do you think it's better to throw in lots of no reset runs, or like lots of runs, or rather focus on more practice? Because I know like at least like top level runners, I remember Weegee did something similar. I know like in Ocarina of Time people have done that like they came like to the game and like they practiced for like a year straight or something without barely doing like full runs, and then like they started doing runs and it was like really good, of course, but I guess it's like very hard to motivate. So
I think if you do segment RTA, you can kind of it kind of works as doing RTA once you're cutting it into like such big chunks. So I think that's why it worked for Weegee so well. But also I don't really think it hurts, because like, or it doesn't really hurt to just finish a full run. Because 70 star, once you're like getting comfortable with sub hour, so say you're playing like 5 hours a day, you could do one no reset, that's an hour, then you still have 4 hours to like split however you want, do a ton of practice or do PB grinding.
And you still get lots of information from that no reset run as well, and learn new stuff, I guess. So
yeah,
it's actually pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Then I have 3 tiny more questions actually.
Cool.
And first of all, for my personal visual speedrun journey now, someone who has like spent thousands of hours into the game with like lots of game knowledge about the movement, the physics and stuff, but zero idea about the visual strats basically. Do you have any advice, or like think what would be the best approach for me to get like better? Literally just check the routes, check Wikipedia or something, or watch other runners full runs maybe? Like, do you have any idea what I could do specifically?
I think it'll probably just mostly be a matter of getting used to the movement in a visual sense, like learning how to use the camera in a way that benefits you visually, seeing where you're going. So I imagine that you don't really need to see where you're going necessarily in blindfolded, because you can't see. But also I imagine blindfolded relies a lot on notches,
Hmm.
and for visual runs, notches are helpful, but a lot of the time to go fast, you want to be holding out of notch for
Yeah,
things.
that's something I already noticed today. Like I'm constantly like between up, left, and up or something, and it feels very strange to like hit the
Yeah.
exact perfect angle that I need. So I guess that's something
Yeah.
I need to get used to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a skill you'll slowly develop where you just kind of get really used to having to keep your thumb in these weird positions in
Hmm.
between. But um, I guess that's about it. And really just looking at the XCam times, make sure you're not losing too much time. I think naturally you'll just improve a lot.
Hmm.
Your movement will just get better naturally, and I think it'll be really awesome to watch. I'm curious how it'll
Nice.
go.
Yeah, me too. I'm like not too confident, honestly. I think I can get like a decent time, but like I have a feeling there's still like a very, very different amount of skill set that should, like compared to blindfolded. I think like there's gonna be a huge gap still. But yeah, I think it will be a fun journey at least. So
Yeah,
um
I thought, dude, it's crazy. Your PB is like only 6 minutes faster visual. Like, is your PB actually 116 blindfolded 70?
yes,
That's like
yeah,
crazy to
yeah, yeah.
me.
And it's like
Uh,
my sum of best is like a sub 110. So
God, that's crazy.
yeah, it's pretty wild, honestly. Um, oh yeah, one more question about my journey right now, because I'm not only learning or like start to learn, but I also do this kind of 24-hour challenge. So I have not much like what I do basically is I have done yesterday a run like without any knowledge, just like winged the 70-star run without knowing the route and stuff. They got the 110, and now I will practice for 24 hours basically. And in this 24 hours, I want to learn the route, the stars, whatever, and then do more like runs to compare the before and after, basically. And 24 hours is, of course, now not that much to like go in depth in every star. Like, I don't think, for example, I should try to learn pillarless in that amount of time. Like, I will just not get
Yeah.
consistent enough. So, what should I focus on the most with this limited amount of time? Is it, we have kind of discussed probably like the 100 coin stars, like the long and difficult ones. They can probably shave off lots of time. Is there anything else that you think is like very important?
I definitely just think upstairs and Tippy are gonna be the biggest. Like, if you have such a limited amount of time that you're trying to get the best time possible, Tippy and
Mm-hmm.
upstairs are gonna be where most of that time save comes from.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean you have to neglect lobby or basement, of course, but like really just making sure you're not gonna like die 10 times in TTC or
Mm-hmm.
something, or
And
just getting
Rainbow
comfortable with
Ride,
the
yeah.
100 coins. And Rainbow Ride, yeah, Rainbow Ride, like lack two bounce.
Oh yeah, we hit
You
that
probably
like
wouldn't want to do it, but
we hit that like twice yesterday without ever learning it, just from like how I saw
oh
visual runners do it.
yeah, maybe
It's
you could do
pretty
that then.
funny.
Yeah, because not doing lag two bounce, I've heard people like hate doing it. Like
Okay.
there's a really hard long jump you have to do. So if you're already good at lag two bounce, that's sick.
Yeah, I
But
will
yeah,
try at
Tippy.
least again. Okay, that's interesting though. I have not thought of upstairs a lot. We've now kind of just started in lobby and like went star by star, but probably after I'm done with each star once, I will then try to focus next on upstairs and Tippy. It's a
Yeah.
very good advice. All right,
Or
and then yeah, go on.
maybe instead of like upstairs, actually basement. Now that I think about it, just because in 70 star upstairs has a lot of like short stars, maybe
Hmm.
basement and Tippy is like more what I would focus on. Just to throw
Okay,
that in there.
okay, sounds good. Yeah. And then finally, for like the general people who watch, any advice, any final advice for someone who literally just starts SM64, is interested in speedruns, and do you have any words of for them, like any encouragement or any tips, any hints still that they might not know about?
I really think the best thing you can do is just get involved with the community. If once you get involved and you start meeting people and you start like wanting to compare times with people, you create rivalries, you see the resources, and you start having fun. That genuinely will make you want to play so much more, and you'll play a lot better.
Mm.
Um, so I really think that advice is more helpful alone than any like small advice I can give on like certain things you could do in your runs, because I think you'll kind of just naturally start to learn so much if you really involve yourself with the community.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually an awesome little message right there. Like the community is so great. I cannot emphasize it enough here in SM64. It's like it's really been even if as someone who is not like directly in the visual stuff involved, like I still get to see, of course, lots of things. So
Yeah,
it's really, really awesome. So
it's
yeah,
a really
if you,
welcoming community.
exactly. If any one of you guys want to learn blindfold, no, dude, my muscle memory and speech. If any one of you wants to learn SM64, absolutely go ahead, join the community, have some fun. And yeah, that's about it, what I have for today, Weegee. Thank you so much for joining here for this little chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really cool.
I will...
Looking forward to seeing how you do.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Then I guess I'll quickly BRB, and then we'll continue the practice. So yeah, see you around. Bye.
Bye.